Welcome, everybody.
Getting bigger.
Yeah, I hear you guys are too. Okay, so these are the questions that I was curious about, and I think they'll be the questions you guys are curious about too. I'm going to ask a lot about the very early days of Facebook. We were just talking about them in the back. It was fascinating. I sort of wish you could have heard it. We'll do our best to try and reproduce it. So here's a question that might be a little bit difficult. How long before 2004 could something like Facebook have succeeded? Like, what was the last thing that was needed to fall into place? Could someone have done it in 1995 or 2000?
Yeah, no, it's an interesting question. There were certain elements that we certainly bootstrapped off of and kind of used to hack early identity, right? So one of the things that people don't think about that often today is early on we wanted to establish this culture of real identity on the service. And there weren't really any other online services or communities where people were openly their real self before that. And one of the ways that we kind of determined that someone was really who they said they were and their credentials were real were everyone had school email addresses. And I don't know how much before 2004, I assume, probably around 2000, all schools started issuing email addresses, but that was really this critical thing that made it so that we could get started. It was this counterintuitive thing that not many other services were using.
So school email addresses were the original source of identity.
Well, that's how you knew what school you were in.
Right, and you weren't just a sock puppet. Because you can't just get the school to keep creating new email addresses.
Yeah. So it made it so that people couldn't sign up for fake accounts, right? Because people typically only have one school account. So being able to bootstrap off of that was this really nice early thing that helped us establish this culture of real identity. And once we got to a few million people or 10 million people where that culture was established, it was able to bootstrap into something that was much bigger that kept most of that culture, even though now obviously most people in the world don't have emails that are issued by some institution that vouches for their identity.
Now people